Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started, and we kick things off tonight with the weather. It seems like we are on the cusp of spring weather. Today we saw a little bit of rain and a little bit of sunshine. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo to find out where we go from here. Jeremy?
We're going up.
All right.
That's the only way to go, so let's talk it. Overall, that forecast has our temperatures rising. We sit at 37 right now, but with clouds clearing out, expect to fall down below freezing early tomorrow morning. Don't have too much moisture left on the road, so things should be pretty smooth sailing. And look at the radar. All we've got left is a little bit of radar feedback. A couple of those are stray sprinkles, but for the most part, it's those clearing skies and radar feedback that's given us some of that information. We're going to leave the radar, the National Weather Service likely leaves the radar in the mode that detects storms because we get another little wave early tomorrow morning. And notice the rotation. That's kind of the storm moving out of the region. Tomorrow, I think we start out with a little bit of cloud cover and then we slowly get rid of it. It's mostly sunny, but it's going to be between partly cloudy and mostly sunny. 32 with a high of 49. Thursday, we climb into the 50s, and by Friday, mid 50s, which means we spend a good chunk of our afternoon in the 50s. Saturday, Sunday, first 60s of the year. It is going to be that kind of warm, and all of that comes with sunshine.
All right. I like the sound of that. Jeremy, thank you very much. We'll check back in with you later in the show. Well, it is election night in Washington state. Within the last 2 hours, we have learned that both President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump are projected winners in the presidential primary. Earlier this afternoon, Biden secured enough delegates to become the Democratic nominee, and at around 8:30 tonight, Trump did the same. So let's take a look at where Washington's results stand at this hour. Biden secured Washington delegates with about 87% of the vote so far. It was no surprise the president managed to secure the win tonight, but there was some unknown when it came to uncommitted voters. A last minute push on social media urged voters to check uncommitted on their ballots to send a message about the war in Gaza. Tonight's results showing now that it had somewhat of an impact, with about 8% of voters in the state choosing to vote uncommitted. Turning now to the race for the Republican delegates in Washington. Donald Trump secured the vote with about 74% tonight. According to the AP, Nikki Haley held on to about 21% in Washington. Now, as much of the nation has spoken, a rematch between Biden and Trump is all but certain. Several other states need to still hold their primaries to finalize the former president's nomination. This map shows where voters still need to send in their pick. It includes Florida, Illinois, and Ohio. And this isn't the end of our election coverage tonight. Coming up in less than 10 minutes, we are breaking down exactly how many delegates were awarded tonight all across the nation. Well, we have new information tonight about a house fire that killed one person last week in North Spokane. Investigators with Spokane Fire say they believe the man found dead inside the home started the fire in the garage after an argument with his roommates. They also say they believe he tampered with the gasoline before lighting the fire. Neighbors told KREM 2 the morning after the fire they thought they heard an explosion. Investigators say that was due to aerosol cans and propane in the garage. No one else was hurt in that fire. And now to our night beat with a quick look at today's top stories. The Idaho Supreme Court denied Brian Kohberger's motion for permission to appeal from a lower court's judgment. Kohberger is the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students back in November of 2022. His defense filed a motion last week asking for permission to appeal the district court's decision not to toss his grand jury indictment. But today, the Idaho Supreme Court says it will not hear that appeal. Today, law enforcement and supporters from all across Washington gathered to remember Washington State Patrol Trooper Christopher Gadd, who was killed in the line of duty last week. Gadd was working a DUI patrol in Marysville when he was hit and killed by an alleged drunk driver. Hundreds gathered along the route today to pay their respects.
My son's also a trooper out of District 7 and worked with Trooper Gadd, and so this hits very close to home for us, and we wanted to come and show our support. It's been pretty tough. My son is obviously, he couldn't believe it was real afterwards. He talked to me about how he just was in the break room laughing and joking with Trooper Gadd just a few hours before the event happened.
Trooper Gadd was described as a quiet and humble leader, a loving husband and adoring father, a devoted son who made his parents very proud. Spokane Fire is investigating tonight after a fire inside a garage displaced 2 families. According to officials, squatters started the fire. Spokane firefighters were able to put out the flames within 10 minutes, but it still caused an estimated $100,000 in damage. The family said they've had issues with people breaking in and lighting candles on the garage floor. Tonight, no arrests have been made. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just head to our website. That's KREM.com. The Hayden City Council held a public hearing tonight to discuss the possibility of a new development near the Coeur d'Alene Airport. KREM 2's Cody Proctor sat in on that hearing tonight. She brings us more.
The Hayden City Council spent about 3 hours Tuesday night in a crowded council chamber for one item on the agenda, the proposed Hayden Sky development. According to city documents, the proposed project would create over 400 dwelling units, 2 public parks, private open space, and a light industrial lot. The application also proposes to develop 300 residential lots with 1- and 2-story single homes and almost 30 2-story fourplexes. The industrial lot would be for self-storage. The development would be located on West Hayden Avenue, just southwest of the Coeur d'Alene Airport. The proposal's representatives told city councilors they plan to build the development in 4 phases, starting this year with phase 1. But a couple of community members questioned the proposal, with sewage a big concern, since a wastewater treatment facility is located nearby.
But if this was to happen again, I would hope that you put your best efforts forward, because smelling poop is not a good idea on a daily basis.
Traffic, especially at the nearby Hayden and Hutter intersection, also drew concerns.
And it takes at times 15 minutes to get from Hutter onto Hayden to come home. So,
in regards to traffic, Atlas and Hayden is a freaking nightmare. It is like avenging death to get out of there.
The Hayden City Council had the option of approving, denying, or delaying the preliminary planned unit development.
That was Cody Proctor reporting. In the end, the City Council approved the preliminary proposed project in a 3-2 vote. And that was your KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time. But don't